Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
You all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. And yet, I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
Happy Earth Day. You know, when I need a pick-me-up, she's the one. When I'm like, hey, you know what? I could use a little pick-me-up. Greta, give us some words. How dare you? How dare you joke, Chad, on this Earth Day? Could be the last Earth Day of this year. You're not very nice, Chad. Settle down. Settle down, everybody. Settle down. Yes, climate change is here. Cutting greenhouse is here. How do we do it? What are we going to do? How do we get there? We're not going to get there. Not the way that people think. It's not going to happen the way that people think. So you don't believe in climate change? No, I believe in climate change. We have 7 billion people here who've done all kinds of stuff to this earth. Of course things are going to change. Is it as bad as some people think? No. Has it been overblown? Of course. Remember when I was a kid, I'm 50. It was a cover of Time magazine talking about the coming ice age. It's over. And just to let you guys know, if you ask any climatologists, scientists, would you rather have a ice age where it's cooling, or would you rather have it where it's a little bit warmer? Be like, a little bit warmer. Why? Because food can grow. That's why. Oh. But it is Earth Day. We shall celebrate it throughout the day. We shall celebrate Earth Day. And we should talk about how we're going to move from point A to point B when it comes to taking better care of the environment. And yes, having sustainable jobs and energy. So it's not a guessing game of whether or not your energy is going to work.
You all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. How dare you?
I got to be honest. I don't know what your dreams are. So I don't know how somebody stole them. And who are you? Who are you? Just curious. Who's the you? Just put it out there. Just asking a question about the you on this Earth Day. Who are the you in this? Is it the evil governments? The big corporations? Is it everybody? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson. Share is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Is the goalpost starting to move in said coronavirus again?
To celebrate our independence from this virus on July 4th with family and friends in small groups, we still have more to do in the months of May and June. We all need to mask up until the number of cases goes down, until everyone has a chance to get their shot. To Americans 16 years and older, it's your turn now. Now. So go get your vaccine before the end of May.
Feels like we're already starting to set up that maybe not. Feels like we're starting to set up, well, you remember July 4th? It might not happen. Do you remember July 4th when this was going to be the celebration? You still have 20% of Americans who will not get vaccinated. Now, there are vaccine atheists who are just never going to do it. Period. Case closed. For whatever reason. So, by the way, not all of it's political. There are some people out there who are in what they consider brilliant shape. They are. You know, they're ripped, they're yoked, they got the abs, the whole the homeless abs. You know what I'm talking about, right? Just ripped, and you can see the whole things. And they feel like, hey, you know, my body's the best thing that can fight this thing if I get it. Okay. But then you've got a lot of other people out there who politically aren't going to get this. That's just it. It's not based in science. It's based in politics. Those are a certain amount of atheists. And then you've got the agnostics, the vaccine, not hesitant agnostics. They know vaccines work. They're not anti-vaxxers. They're not even really into the political side of things as much as people, I think, would think. You know what they are? They don't want to be pushed. Make it my idea. And that's how you get people to change their mind. It's their idea. They're at their doctors for some other reason, 3-4 months from now. Doctor says, hey, did you get the shot? And you're like, I didn't get the shot. Why not? Oh, because, I'm just not quite sure. Hey, I got it. It's totally fine. It's been a year, pretty much. Things are okay. Okay, yeah. You want it? Okay, sure. Sure. That's how that goes. But that 20% that everybody's like, oh, God, that's not going to happen by July 4th. And we shouldn't have to live our lives based on that 20%. We shouldn't have to live our life based on that. We shouldn't. Hey, you guys don't want to get it? Well, we'll do everything to make sure that we do everything to keep you safe. No, you've had the opportunity. And I've not heard any real leader stand up and say, you've had the opportunity. You chose not to get it. For whatever reason. The beauty of America is we got choice, right? You got choice, baby. If you want to get it. If you don't, fine. But if the reason that we have to continue to say, you got to stay 6 feet apart, everybody's got to wear masks, and you can only have 1.85 people who are non-residents of your home inside your home, and if you're barbecuing, only one person can be outside. That's ridiculous, Chad. You're just being a jerk. If the reason is those kind of things, because some people won't get it, why are we placating? It's time to move on. It's time to move on, period. I love what Rand Paul says about Biden. And I think this is something that if we're looking for extra motivation, if you're looking to try to get people to be extra motivated, who are on the fence, maybe.
If he can prove that people like me who have already had it are spreading the disease, I'll listen to him. But there is no evidence of that. If you want more people to get vaccinated, Joe Biden should go on national TV, take his mask off, and burn it. Light a torch to it and burn his mask and say, I've had the vaccine. I am now safe from this plague. If you'll get the vaccine, you can be safe too.
If you're looking for that, I'm just saying. It's political theater. I get it. It's political theater. Absolutely. Politics is theater anymore. They're just actors acting a part. It's not a bad thing, though. Hey, you've had both shots? You don't have to wear a mask. Really? Oh, okay, cool. Now, maybe stores may continue to require, but if your work says, hey, you've got both shots, you don't have to wear a mask. Would you think about doing it? You might. Would you think to yourself, hey, guess what? I may go get my shot. Why? Well, because if I get my shot, I don't have to wear a mask anymore in my office, and I don't want to wear a mask. I'm sick and tired of walking 20 feet and forgetting I wear a mask and going back to my booth or my office to grab it so I don't make somebody feel uncomfortable out there, because seeing you with a mask reminds everybody that there's a pandemic. I mean, I'm just saying, if you're trying to do something, you're going to have to incentivize, and for some, just realize that you're going to have to allow them to come to it on their own terms. That's reality right there. You come to it on your own terms when you feel that you are ready. Do it. Have you never been in an argument? Have you never, when you push people, right, and you start to, first you implore them, oh, you should get it. It's da-da-da-da. Then, right, you go what? I can't believe you're not getting it. Then it becomes insulting. And that's kind of the phases we have gone through. And now that we've gone through those phases, the phase that'll work will be let them come. It's like, you can lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink when it's their idea. I was talking to somebody today here at one of the local stations. I did a hit, and I said, it's like potty training with kids. or adults, I guess if you're into that. But they want to do it on their own time. It needs to be their idea. It needs to be their idea. And the more you push, eventually they get sick and tired and say, Jack was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want diapers. Diapers are for... But it needed to be his idea, because the more you pushed at times, the worse it can get, because it's something that they can control. Simple as that, guys. But I see the goalpost starting to move again, and I feel like, here we go. This is what we're going to be doing. It's going to be July 4th, and they're going to start saying, well, the flu season's coming around, and it's going to be this, and so we're going to have to be extra, triple, double, triple vigilant, and you're going to be like, 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. It is Earth Day. We're going to be talking earthy stuff today. And I joke about Earth Day, but there are things we need to do, and there are things we should be doing. But like everything else, when politics gets involved, if politics was involved when the peanut butter landed in the chocolate or the chocolate landed in the peanut butter, we would have no Reese's peanut butter cups. And the reason is simple. They'd figure out a way to screw it up and separate the two. We don't need that. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. MyPillow has my slippers. Now, I got my slippers, actually. I got a few sent to me the other day. They're behind me. And they're really cool. I got the moccasins and slip-ons. They come in an array of colors. And the beauty of it is it's indoor-outdoor wear. So you don't have to just put them on. Oh, they're only for indoor. No, they're indoor-outdoor. They're comfortable. Keep your feet extremely comfortable. There's 3 different tiers. So you got the patented MyPillow fill, right? Then you've got the memory cushion foam. Then you've got this gel stuff that is made from soybeans, 100% made from U.S. soybeans. You get a 60-day money-back guarantee, 1-year limited warranty. You can wear them indoor, outdoors, different styles, different colors. They're incredible. Go to MyPillow.com. Save 40% right now. MyPillow.com. Use promo code Benson. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. When you do that, you're going to save 40%. Check out all the other deep discounts they got right now. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. The best slippers around, 40% off. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. Chad Benson Show.
To be free. I am not a terrorist. I am not Antifa. I am not a sex slave that wears masks.
Don't be a cutie pie.
Probably sit around and cook some soups and eat bread and desserts and just get all fat and sassy.
You're ruining my life, bud!
Yeah, you haven't seen anything yet.
You're listening to The Chad Benson Show.
For a second straight week, the number of first-time jobless claims declined to a new pandemic low of 547,000. That's still historically high, as is the number of people receiving some form of unemployment benefit, more than 17 million. Layoffs appear to be subsiding, though, and economists have hope April will be a strong month of job growth as a reopening economy unleashes pent-up demand.
Pent-up demand, baby! Reopening. It's funny because as we reopen, other places are starting to, should we close down? You took the step. You're not going to put the genie back in the bottle. It's just, it's going to be extremely tough to do. People are ready to get out there. They understand what's in front of them. They understand the risk. They don't want to be babysat anymore. It's time to allow people to make choices. So when you hear Biden say, well, we may have to go backwards, and we're not going to get to July 4th where we could celebrate with more than 3 people. No, stop moving the goalpost. Be 100% honest. 100% honest. Look, you get this thing? Chance of you dying, pretty slim. Is it a possibility? Of course it is. Anything's a possibility. But in saying that, be careful. If you've got issues and you're deciding not to get the vaccine for whatever reason, We'll do everything we can to make sure that you're as safe as you can. We'll supply you with some of the things that you need. So it's no cost to you, if you will. But for the rest of us, it's time to get home. It's time for us to get home. Like most people would go, okay, at least I know what's out in front of me. That you're allowing this to happen, and we're going to move on. And by allowing it to happen, it doesn't mean it's going to. Your states may already be open up. My state's pretty open up. My on-air partner for my other show, his dad came out and visited last week. He's from New Jersey and New York, and he says, "What is this?" He goes, "You guys, you would never know you had a pandemic out here in Arizona." He goes, "We're still masked up, can't go anywhere." He goes, "I went to a restaurant in New York the other day. It was me and one other person inside the restaurant." He goes, "Restaurants here, it's waiting times." Yeah, we're living our lives. That's what we do. So at some point, you got to take that step. I think it's a good step. It's tough, and you're going to have a lot of people out there psychologically who are going to struggle with this. But if we're going to get back to pre-pandemic levels, I just read something very, very refreshing. You guys want to hear this? I like sharing news with you. I couldn't even believe it myself when I told the guys during break. 2021 Indianapolis 500, May 30th, 135,000 spectators will be there. It's on. Very interesting. I thought, that's good. You know what you're getting into if you don't want the vaccine. I trust that you understand as anything else. It's time to start living. It's time to start working. It's time to start getting back to living pre-pandemic level, the way we should be, not some sort of bizarre, weird new normal. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. It's the Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
The plan would be to cut greenhouse gas emissions by at least half by 2030. That's compared to 2005 levels and nearly twice what President Obama set out in 2015.
Cut the greenhouse gas. Let's figure out how we do a lot of different things on this Earth Day to celebrate the Earth, but to also go, okay, how can we use technology and not politics, but advancement in technology to better take care of our Earth? It's a great question. Did you see what Brazil said? He told America, hey, give us $1 billion and we'll cut deforestation by 40%. I'm like, hell, at that point, just give him $5 billion, ask him if he had the whole thing. So this is America, this is the continental United States, this is Hawaii over here, and this is our forest. We bought a forest. Yeah, we bought a forest. It's really interesting. It's in Brazil, but we've turned it into, Brazil featuring the United States of America, Brazil. Nobody's going to take that deal, by the way, because nobody trusts what they're going to do with the money or the deforestation. Oh, my Lord. We got to take better care of the planet. I joke, right? I joke because, A, it's what I do, and because I see the BS that goes on. I understand people are selling you with oh, we've got all the facts. Well, this group over here has facts that say your facts are your fact. Somewhere in the middle is the reality of it. And by the way, a lot of people's sets of facts are based on what may happen. Well, if we keep doing this, this is going to happen. If we keep doing this. And so you sit back and go, okay, so let's figure out exactly how we're going to get to the places that we think that we should get without doing what? Destroying economies, giving us unreliable energy. How do we do that? Those are questions we can have. Those are questions we should be having because it's about finding a solution. But like everything else, when you come at something with you're wrong, you insult, and you try to use whatever it is you're doing for a power play, in many cases, it's not going to work. The other side, no matter what the issue is going to push back. So how do we get to a place where we better take care of our home? Those are real questions. Technology is one of them. Take politics out. If I'm the United States of America's leader, I say, hey, UN, understand that, we're going to be part, but we're doing our own thing because we're interested in solutions and we don't want things where it feels like you're moving the goalpost to try to push an agenda and certain things. So we're not going to be doing things like that. We're going to be doing our own thing where we have sustainability as well as reliability with very little politics. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to. Nobody wants to come up with real solutions in the world of politics because the problem to them is the solution. Because with a problem, policing, race, economic inequality, right? You start going through all of the stuff, immigration, trans, choice, guns. Those are the solutions to their problems, which is how do I get people to vote for me? Well, it's because there, in theory, is an enemy or a monster on the other side who I will demonize. And in doing so, you'll vote for me. Climate's another one of those. Can't have a conversation because the conversation's always coming anymore with, settled. First of all, it's never been settled science. People don't want to listen. Well, 90, and you go back and you start explaining to them, this is what happened when the 90% of scientists, and you start walking them through. They don't want to hear it. They don't. Nobody wants to hear also that what happens is somebody grabs something like a movement, pick any movement out there, and that somebody is usually a politician because they see an advantage to taking this, crafting a story, making it about them and how they're the ones that can help, and using science to get the things they want. Whatever it is. Again, just pick an issue. Doesn't have to be climate change. It can be any issue. When I was a kid growing up, we're going to have an ice age. Then it became global warming. Now it's climate change. So if it goes up or down, it doesn't matter. You win. Are you interested in real solutions to change? Let's talk about it. If you're interested in only the politics, don't care which way it changes, then you're part of the problem. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program, AOC.
On one hand, people are saying, finally, yes, something's happening. And on the other hand, this not feeling like justice. It's not justice. And I'll explain to you why it's not just. Because justice is George Floyd going home tonight to be with his family.
But he sacrificed his life. Didn't he? Oh, no. Can I just say I'm pretty pleased that the establishment media, who all lean pretty left, came out and basically said, Nancy Pelosi, your ridiculous take on George Floyd and his sacrifice. And if you guys haven't heard it, I'll play it again because it's nuts.
Thank you, George Floyd, for sacrificing your life for justice,
for being there to call out to your mom. How heartbreaking was that? Call out for your mom. I can't breathe. But because of you, thousands, millions of people around the world who came out for justice, your name will always be synonymous with justice. And now we have to make sure justice prevails in the sentencing.
Yeah, so that most people called BS on that and said you were tone deaf. But it shows you, again, an issue where a politician can grab or latch themselves onto, and in doing so, do what politicians do, which is whatever they want with that issue that will benefit them. Back to AOC.
Justice is Adam Toledo getting tucked in by his mom tonight. Justice is when you're pulled over, there not being a gun that's part of that interaction because you have a headlight out. Justice is a municipality and a government that does not value military and armaments more than it values health care and education and housing.
It's justice. Justice is the fact that Adam Toledo, he was out with a 21-year-old who had a gun, and they were firing it off in the middle of the night. Justice is not having that happen at all, where the cops don't show up because you didn't do that. You weren't trying to get into a gang. You weren't hanging out with a 21-year-old who shouldn't have also had a gun, apparently, firing it off in the middle of a city. You know, when we ask police, we're always asking police, you guys need to change. You need to change. You know what needs to change? Society. We devalue fathers. It's all a race thing, Chad. That's it. You just don't get it. I'm going to throw a statistic out to you guys, all right? This is going to make some people angry. I'm sure people are going to go, I can't believe you did that. It's all because of the white people. But you start looking at some of these statistics. This is from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Has everybody heard of that? Producer Phil, have you heard of that? Centers for Disease Control Prevention?
I think so. I'm not really sure, Chad.
Okay. Well, they're a fly-by-night organization, apparently. Analyst of data. So this is analysis of data from Centers for Disease Control and Prevention found that black males between the ages of 15 and 34 accounted for 37% of gun homicides, even though they make up how much? Less than 2% of the U.S. population, a rate 20 times higher than that of white males of the same age. Less than 2% make up almost 40% of homicides. Let's go over that again. Less than 2% make up almost 40% of homicides. Hey, police, you need to change what you're doing. People will come up with excuses. It's because the white person keeps everybody down. It's because of this. It's because how about this? Education system? Who controls the education system? Is it the Republicans? No. They'd like choice. Choice is good. No, you can't have choice. It's the unions, Democrats. Is it an education system that works for who? For the inner city? No, it doesn't. You know that, and I know that. Anytime you try something new, they get pushed back. There are so many things that you can look at. Let's talk about homes, fatherless homes. Look, there's no doubt that in this country, it has been slanted for the white dude. That's it. And over time, even when things have evened out, sentencing in a lot of ways has been awful. But when you hear a statistic like that, it won't be talked about. When you hear a statistic like that, it's not going to be talked about. We're always asking the police to change. We never say, hey, you know what? Yeah, the police, we need modernization. We need a better way of policing that's smarter and safer for the community, but also for the officers. But we never say, hey, is there any way maybe that some people in society can look at themselves and say, maybe a 13-year-old shouldn't be out at 2:30 in the morning shooting off a gun in the middle of a city? And somehow that's that officer's fault. Why? Because he woke up in the morning and apparently when he threw on his hood, he said, I'm going to be hunting 13-year-old black kids today. In the media, huge part of the blame. Huge. The other day, the girl killed in Ohio. She's 15. Oh, my God. Cop just shot an innocent girl. Did a cop shoot an innocent girl? Or was he called because there was a disturbance, fighting going on? He shows up. As he shows up, one woman gets thumped to the ground because she's got a knife. After being told on numerous occasions to put the knife down and to stop, she turns and she heads towards another person with a knife. Valerie Jarrett tweets out, they should learn how to stop knife fights. Basically, I'm paraphrasing. Knife fights happen when the other person has a knife, too. That's a stabbing. We're asking police to change. Maybe a little societal change won't hurt. Don't talk about that, though, Chad. It's going to make people feel upset. They're going to be mad. No, it's an honest thing. When I hear about all these things that she's talking about, AOC, yeah, you know what? Not going to die. There's not white benefits, and there hasn't been for. That'd be stupid to deny that. At the same time, you have a lot of people who are also black in communities who feel like they're held hostage by gun violence and crime. We never talk about them. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from every one of you. Master Class. I've been watching a lot of Master Class lately. So I go to my Masterclass homepage. Log in. It's pretty simple, right? It's 41 cents a day. Want to get you the super sweet benefits for using, yes, kids, I'm going to say it, my code word.
I have a lot of friends and I have clients who will come to me and say, Kelly, I just don't know what color or I want color.
That right there is one of the best designers in the world. You can learn from her how to design. How about this? Vocal techniques from Nancy Cartwright, Bart Simpson. Phil Ivey, greatest poker player, maybe, one of them of all time. And politics from Karl Rove and David Axelrod. Learn from the masters. From music to home design to techniques with Chris Voss on how to negotiate. Arguably the greatest negotiator of all time for the FBI. You learn from the best. Take your hobby or the thing you've been curious about and maybe make it a career. How do they get there? Expand your knowledge. It's Masterclass. 20 classes per session on average, about 10 minutes per. Filmed like it's it's movie quality, film quality. It is incredible. They got workbooks. They've got printable material, all kinds of things. And it's 41 cents a day when you average it out. Get your annual pass. Go to masterclass.com/Benson. Save an extra 15%. Masterclass.com/Benson. Masterclass.com/Benson. Chad Benson Show.
Serving up talk radio medium rare and dripping with irony. It's Chad Benson.
It is Earth Day, and if you're going to do some Earth things, you should probably celebrate Earth by watching a movie. Out today, this.
The Beauty of Whales on full display in National Geographic's Secrets of the Whales, a 4-part docuseries from executive producer James Cameron.
I just find them to be majestic, awe-inspiring, and fascinating, and kind of enigmatic.
He tells me he loves the way whales approach the world.
They don't try to manipulate it and shape it. They just live peacefully within it and with each other. And I think there's a great deal of wisdom that we can learn from the whales.
Sigourney Weaver narrates. All episodes are out now on Disney+.
Yeah, so I watched one of them. It's really weird. So what they do is they get their diaries, and they learn all their secrets, and man, they're jerks. It's not true, Chad. You're lying. Do they really do that? Oh, God. Earth Day. We're celebrating Earth Day. So let's celebrate Earth Day with a little bit of the thing that we like to call, well, it's nature. Producer Phil, remind everybody what nature will do to you.
Nature will mess you up.
Mess you up.
A man spotted a poisonous rattlesnake near his Southern California home, and he was worried about children in the area. Riverside County Animal Services says he grabbed barbecue tongs to grab the snake.
By the way, I don't suggest that, just to let you know.
But they did not prevent the rattler's teeth from grabbing his hand. Animal Services, not naming the man, says he's okay after a trip to the ER. Rattlesnake bites are painful and in rare cases fatal. A crowd gathered as the snake was taken away, some of the children saying, "Bye, Mr. Snake."
Barbecue tongs, not ideal for that. Not ideal. Play a stupid game, win a stupid prize. Oh, my goodness me. Crazy, right? Just nuts. That's like, of all the things that I would use, and I've handled a ton of deadly snakes, the deadliest in the world. And it's not the cobra. No, that is not, that's not something you do. Barbecue tongs. No. You're better off grabbing them by the tail. And they don't want to be anywhere near you, just to let you guys know. Nowhere near you. Zero chance that they want to bite you or be near you. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. Happy Earth Day! I didn't even know what to get Earth. Seems like they got everything. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
You all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. And yet, I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
Greta Thunberg. It's Earth Day. Yeah, that's Earth Day. Now she's speaking out. Did you see that? She was at the WHO the other day, World Health Organization. Like, hey, get that scientist. Yeah, get her, because we want to talk about vaccines. Yeah, get her. Just bring her on over. She was talking about it's pandemic, vaccines, because we destroyed nature. And that's why we get pandemics. Some of that's true. Not so much destroying nature, it's eating a portion of nature. But it is Earth Day. We should celebrate Earth in all its glory. And then we should ask questions about, hey, how are we going to make Earth better, more sustainable? How are we, as a species, going to stop crapping where we eat? And at the same time, continue to move forward economically with all the trappings like electricity and things of that nature that we like. How do we do that? How do we do that without hurting third world countries who are trying to grow economically, right? And tell them, hey, you know what? No, don't do this. No, how? Well, we can't, because we have technology. And with technology and a want to do something, we can get to places that we really want to be and that we need to be at for us. That's good for us. Clean air is good for us. Clean water is good for us. Whether you believe in climate change or not, it is good for us. You know how we get there? It's pretty simple. First and foremost, we stop the politics. Hard to do because politicians are the ones that seem to really want to have this opportunity to fix a problem. That's a great problem to fix, by the way. Like with immigration, it's a hard thing to fix. It's a hard thing to fix. Well, why is it a hard thing to fix? How's this a hard thing to fix? Because how do you go about doing it? You can actually quantify it in a lot of ways because there can be numbers and people can look at certain things and say, hey, look, we're looking over here and you aren't doing the things you're supposed to be doing, and we're still having too many people come here illegally or whatever it is. We can put that. With nature, man, nature will mess you up. Nobody ever gets mad at the weather person. It's weather. They don't even really miss anymore. There was times when it was like, yeah, it's going to be hot. The next day it's like, it's snowing. Well, I don't know. Just look outside, guys. It's nature. I'm not a special being, okay? Now they got all the stuff. It's a great battle to have. And it's a battle that this generation really wants. Why? Because they don't have anything else to battle against. There's no great wars going out there. Yeah, we're not fighting China. Okay? It's not going to happen. They're not going to fight us. We're not going to fight them. Nobody wins. Terrorism. There's no specific group that is a country that is launching in the destruction. Oh, you've got ISIS and you've got you've had plenty. You can go through Hamas and Al Qaeda and you can but at the end of the day, it's somewhere else. It's not that great thing, and this is the great thing. And politicians love it because they can reshape everything, keep themselves in power. And the reality is, there's no if it's a degree warmer in a decade or a half a degree warmer or less, you've always got, well, we did everything we could. It's perfect. And then you can come out and say stuff like,
so let's run that race. Win more sustainable future than we have now. Overcome the existential crisis of our times.
It's great, right? Come out and say big things, do big things, but also you can use it for a way to push yourself forward. In this Earth Day, here's the reality. We need to take better care of our planet. We need to do a better job at helping countries who are trying to get on their feet, who have struggled for years, to do it in a way that's better than what we have done in many cases in the West and Western-like countries where, we've done a lot through manufacturing, and we've also put out a lot of pollution and crap. We can do better, but it doesn't mean we have to sacrifice and have some sort of bizarre UN/global, hey, let's all come together and we're all going to say we're going to do something. We're going to sign a useless piece of paper that really isn't worth anything because nobody's going to enforce any of these things. And if it means that our country may suffer, we're going to just blow right through this thing and it doesn't matter. That's silly. Technology, even Biden said,
those that do take action and make bold investments in their people and clean energy future will win the good jobs of tomorrow and make their economies more resilient and more competitive.
Absolutely. And that's great. But we can do it without having to destroy a lot of things. And people on the right who and there's a lot of people on the right. And look, there's friends. I have some friends on the left who don't buy a lot of this crap because they see it for what it is, which is politics. Chad, science is not. Science is politics now. Where is most science done? Colleges. What are colleges now? A bastion of politics? So let's settle that down. We can do a better job. And the best thing to do, the number one thing to do is to take politics out of it the best that we can. Because when you take politics out of it, personal issues will get out of it. The right, the left, conservative, progressive. You take all of those things out and say, solution. I don't care right, left, green, orange, purple, red, blue, yellow, whatever it is. All I want is solution. Nobody's feelings hurt, and everybody gets credit. Go. That's why I look to somebody like Elon Musk, right? Big thinkers, big ideas. I don't want you look at somebody like that. That guy wants to get it done. Here, ASU. We're going to have Michael Crow on in the next week or so. He's the president of ASU. He used to run Columbia University. He went in there, and what he did here, ASU used to be the joke, right? It's a party school. People go there, to party and do that. Now it's one of the best colleges in the country. Its tech and medical is just insane. And he's like, hey, we've got all these great things, all these facilities. Let's do stuff with it. They're figuring out how to pull things particles out of the air to reduce carbon footprint and to do all kinds of things. Those are things that we do, and it's technology. And you know what? It's not based on politics and the science and politics together. It's just based on straight. Here's the science. This is what we can do. It has no feelings. Go. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at me. Text the program. Love hearing from you. Coronavirus still here, but good news. Jobs.
First-time claims for unemployment benefits dropped to 547,000 last week, the lowest than at any other point during the coronavirus pandemic. The number is still well above anything seen before the virus sickened the economy, but it's a sign the labor market is now strengthening. The pace of vaccinations and business reopenings bode well for restaurants, hotels, and other service industries.
Yeah. As we get back out there, as we move forward, more and more you're going to see that. And in fact, right now, there's far more jobs available than people realize. But how much do you want to work? And the incentivizing, especially people who maybe are not very skilled, really just getting into the job market, or through, the reality is there's a certain level that they've risen to, and this is kind of, oh, Chad, you said it, jerk. But here's something. Producer Phil sent me this, and we've touched on this a little bit, especially in the service industry. South Florida. First of all, anything that starts with Florida, it's going to be solid. McDonald's, there's a shortage there. They can't find people at all to work. They'll pay you $50 just to come in for an interview. Right? That's it. $50. Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., there's interviews. Get $50 for the interview. That's it. Come on in, have an interview. Guess what? Hasn't attracted any real applicants. It's nuts. It's nuts. That's where we are. I stop on Wednesdays. I go hit golf balls, and on the way back, I always joke is Whopper Wednesdays. I go to this Burger King over here and get everybody Whoppers for like the whole cast and crew here for my other show and some of the people in the building. And the lady who runs the place, she's like, yeah, there's days it's just me and the cook. I can't get people to come in. I can't get people to work. Oh, well, why? Why would you? That's a good question. So, but there's plenty of jobs. May not be perfect jobs, but then you have to ask yourself this other thing. Staying home, getting free money, pride? What about that? Is there any of that? Fair question. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. My Pillow. Got my slippers. My slippers. My slippers. Several different colors to choose from. 60-day money-back guarantee. 1-year limited warranty. It's got the faux fur in it, right? And you got the moccasin styles and slip-on styles. So you put them on, and then you realize that these are indoor, outdoor. This just isn't wearing around the house kind of things. These things, you can wear them all over the place. And the thing that's great is it's got the My patented fill, right? So that's the first layer. Second layer is the memory foam. Third layer is a comfort gel made from soybeans right here in the U.S. of A. 40% off right now. Get your My slippers from My Pillow. Love the products. They're amazing. Go to MyPillow.com. Use the promo code Benson. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. Save 40% right now on the My Slippers. Different colors. Check out all the great discounts and deep discounts on all the stuff, from the mattress toppers to the My Pillow and everything else. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. Chad Benson Show.
Irreverent? Yeah. So what? It's the Chad Benson Show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Now it's time to find out what's trending. What's trending? Yeah, what does that mean? I mean something, right? Like it's trending on the old internet. What's trending? Let's take a look, see what's trending around the interwebs, the globe, here in the United States of America. First, let's start Earth Day, number one trend, trending and continue to do so. Expect that because it is Earth Day. And it will continue to trend throughout the day. We'll talk about Earth Day throughout the day because we need to talk about things like the Earth. That's on Google. Go down. Google's got a mixed mash of, Prince. A lot of people discovering who Prince really was, especially kids who are that Gen Z generation who kind of knows some of his stuff, probably more familiar with some of his samples than anything else. Ezra Furman, singer, reveals she is a trans woman. Well, there you go then. We move on. Is that news? I always wonder, is that really news? Apparently it is, in this day and age. Head on over to Twitter where they fight about everything. Yes, the trending topics of the day. Earth Day, big time. Climate change, the virtual summit that is going on, is trending. DC statehood, we're going to touch on that. And whether or not it should be a state. Was it ever meant to be a state? Was it ever meant to be anything other than potentially a place where people were supposed to go and work and then not live? All 14 is trending. Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene says she's going to schedule a debate with Rep. AOC on the Green New Deal after she finishes reading all 14 pages of said document. Then they can argue about it. And then everybody could go, about both of them. And then you can go, So, they're going to schedule time. And I guess AOC's all about it, which is fine. Let's do it. Let's get it out there. Let's have a true debate. Let's have a real debate. Not a debate based in emotions. Let's bring facts. Do you remember when that mattered? Like facts and data and emotions they're always going to be a part of something. We're human beings. So emotions totally are a part of something. Just because, something, you look at the data and facts, doesn't mean that as an individual, you can't have emotions about stuff. I think a lot of people, they always say that about me, like, you have no emotion. Like, I'm just looking at the facts. That's it. And again, facts can be fudged with, they can be messed with. You can get a portion of them, but you just got to go, well, that's the thing right there. But you got to try to get as much as you possibly can. But if you take out the emotion of stuff, we'd be a lot further along, I think, in a lot of things. A lot further along. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. More on Earth Day. Plus, really good thing from a guy who is a really good journalist, a guy who's actually a journalist, Bernard Goldberg. He was on Real Sports for a long time, and it was very interesting because he came out and he basically kind of just said, yeah, journalism sucks, and it's about wokeness and feelings and any story that could be potentially against a narrative that could get them in trouble. Doesn't matter where it is, they're yanking it. We're going to touch on that as well, because that's not good for journalism. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Lithium is recyclable. Coal is not. The moment coal burns, it's done. You don't get coal back out, and we're not there on carbon capture yet. What we need to work on as a globe, and definitely in the United States, because right now only 5% of lithium-ion batteries are properly recycled. If we can get that up to 95 or 100%, we don't need to mine forever.
No. But we're going to have to do a lot of that stuff. By the way, lithium, a lot of these things, they're like, yeah, that's great. And then you find out, well, they're not as recyclable as they used to be to get to these things and to get them out of the ground and cobalt and a lot of this other stuff. It's tough. It's crazy. It costs a lot of money, and we burn a lot of fossil fuels doing it. And on this Earth Day, you sit back and you go, all right, how do we get there? You know, capturing some of these things is the first thing. And ASU is very close, as are a few other places, to being able to actually capture bad things. Let's keep it simple, stupid, right? To reduce carbon footprint and to capture all the bad stuff that's out there. You know, the greenhouse effect, and they always talk about, but the bad stuff that's out there. All the bad stuff, burning from coal and everything else. But here's the thing. The lithium battery seems great, but how does a lithium battery work? How does it work? What powers a lithium battery? What powers a lot of these things? Well, you need electricity. We're not there. We don't want to do nuclear for whatever reason. Super scary. Majority of France, nuclear. The Scandinavian countries, nuclear. We don't want to do any of those because of 3 Mile Island. When I figure, no. We should be looking at that. We want to get serious about stuff, but because people have painted this thing that nuclear, we're gonna do better. But look at Fukushima. There's no problems there. There's no problems with Fukushima. Yes, it was horrible what took place, but when you go and look at what was put out there, and you break it down, it wasn't what it was made out to be. And part of that's what goes on in the media, because as we all know, the media does what the media does, which is it's always the scare tactic works best. And having conversations, real conversations, and saying, hey, let's talk facts and data. Let's look at things. Because facts and data, they matter. Now, like I've said, you may only get 75% of the facts or the data. Or you may get people who fudge those things. But mostly what you get is whatever side is pitching you something, it's really kind of what it is. It's a pitch. They're affirming your belief by telling you a portion of the story because they have a political agenda or vice versa. Sometimes when you make things just straight facts, people get uncomfortable. We were talking earlier, talking about violent crime. Why is policing the way it is in the inner city? And then you go, hey, CDC, go CDC, Center for Disease Prevention. Less than 2% of the population are African-American males from like 16 to 34. They make up almost 40% of the gun homicides. Why is it? It's important because you start breaking down facts and data. You can start going into places where you can say, okay, how do we start fixing these things for real? People don't want to hear that. Everything's a narrative. Like you watch the news, they're going to pitch you a story and they're going to tell you a portion of it. They're not going to tell you the entire story. They're not going to be honest if they have an agenda. Stacey Abrams, perfect example. Right? She was running to be the governor of Georgia. She lost. The media was like, it's totally because of racism. It's all it can be. Racism. She stole the election. She had her election stolen from her. Then you start to look and you go, But they still continue to push that on, right? Like, if you say, hey, Trump, there were some issues with some of the stuff that happened. I don't think it would have changed the outcome of the election. But to even mention that, you're evil and bad. But when you start bringing facts and data in some of these things, people, that can't happen. That's not real.
And you still refuse to concede that you lost the race for governor in Georgia in 2018. You have said that, quote, you do not concede that the process was proper, and that, quote, they stole it from the voters of Georgia. Yes or no, today, do you still maintain that the 2018 Georgia election was stolen?
As I have always said, what I object to are rules that permitted thousands of Georgia voters to be denied their participation in this election or to have their votes cast out. I will continue to disagree with the system until it is fixed.
Okay, so thousands of voters cast out, voter suppression, right? Ted Cruz continues. Ted Cruz, people don't like, well, he's being mean. But let's just say he is a jerk, for the sake of argument. I only met him once or twice. It's not like I know the guy. I'm assuming, and most of these politicians that I have met, they have some serious ego issues. You have to if you're going to be in that position. Let's not pretend that, you're just doing that. Long gone are the sacrifices of, oh, God, I'm going to leave my business to go to. There is a certain sense of ego, even people who do sacrifice, because you have to have that to survive. So all that being said, data is just data. Facts are just facts. That's it. They're not playing favorites. This is just it. That's it.
But I will continue to advocate for a system that permits every eligible Georgian to cast their ballots.
Ms. Abrams, I'm going to ask you to please answer the question I asked. Yes or no, do you still maintain the 2018 election was stolen? That's your language.
My full language was that it was stolen from the voters of Georgia. We do not know what they would have done because not every eligible Georgian was permitted to participate fully in the election.
Okay. So, voter suppression then.
So you also told the New York Times that your loss, quote, was fully attributable to voter suppression. Do you know in Georgia whether the percentage of African-American Georgians who are registered to vote and who turned out to vote, is it higher or lower than the national average?
It is higher than the national average.
That compares to 60.2% as the national average. The percentage of Georgians who voted in 2018, the election you claim was stolen from you, was 56.3%. That's higher than the national average of 48%.
Oh, yeah, but, it was stolen.
Let me ask you this, Ms. Abrams. In 2018, do you know which demographic group in Georgia had the highest registration percentage and the highest turnout percentage?
I have a guess, but I will defer to you for the answer.
The answer is African Americans had the highest registration and the highest turnout, despite your claiming that the election was stolen and there was somehow voter suppression.
That was just data. There was nothing. But he's mean? No, it's just data. It's like, that's why when you keep it that simple, and that's stupid. And by the way, she didn't lose by a few thousand votes. She lost by a lot of votes. And you sit there and you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe that's a little. But she's cheered on by a lot of people out there as if she was in the lead until the final second, and then a bunch of white people came in and stole all the votes because African Americans weren't allowed to vote. And then you go, well, hold on a second. They had the highest registration, they had a higher turnout. They did. Well, she's been made a victim, and they love it. They love it. That's what you don't get all the truth. Look at the news on a daily basis as you flip through. You do. And even if it's just something on your phone, depending what's on your phone, right? Like what alerts you get, because most everybody gets some sort of alert, whether it's CNN or Fox or whatever, or you've got your own. The headline will tell you pretty much everything you need to know from where they're coming from. But then when you go inside, the girl that was killed in Ohio, perfect example of the framing of it was a girl was murdered by a white police officer. Black girl murdered by a white police officer. Then the video comes out. And then the full video comes out And then the black chief of police is like, she had a knife. And the video says a lot more than the media did. That's the thing that frustrates me. Whether it's climate change or what's going on with guns, race, any of the issues that are out there. If we can have an honest discussion and take away the emotion, get the politics out of it. The one thing that the left does so much better than the right has done is they tell a better story around stuff, and they evoke emotions. And by evoking those emotions, people will tend to act. Whether it's the climate change, if you buy a car that's this, you're going to kill a penguin. Or whether it was stolen from her, and then the data says, nope, all of this stuff over here says that really wasn't true. Doesn't matter, though, because the narrative has been taken. It has been. And the media can frame stuff. I won't do that here. I won't. I want to look at all sides of everything, and I think you should want that. I'm not going to give you affirmation. I'm going to give you information. I'm not giving my opinion on stuff. But I tell you what, if you're serious about stuff in life, about serious issues that are out there, you do a little homework, you find out that maybe the affirmation you were getting was really affirmation and not the full information, or maybe the other side was giving you information that in reality wasn't everything. And if you could say, let's not pick sides, let's just go with data and facts. Don't care who wins as far as who gets to celebrate something when there's an accomplishment. We just all celebrate that we got something done. You watch what happens. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. So I always like sports, right? Sports is great. So if you win as a team, you're the 12th man on the Bulls when Jordan was there. You got a ring. Right? You didn't care. You got that ring. That's what matters. You got a ring. You're a part of the team. You got a ring. In today's world, if sports and politics, which are intersecting far more than they should be, it might be a situation where he goes, hey, you know what? Only Michael and Scotty and maybe Dennis are going to get a ring. Everybody else is going to get kind of a ring. Oh, that's not good. And some of you aren't getting anything. You got to keep your uniforms. That's it. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, Rough Greens. Speaking of a win, my dog Rough Greens has saved my dog, has given him a win. Last night, you know what's neat? At Rough Greens, I talk about like what it's done for his joint pain. So it's Canine VitaSmart from Rough Greens. It has helped him tremendously with his bad arthritic hips and fatty tumors. But the other thing it's done for him, and we've really noticed this, is his coat is so much better. So it's got vitamins, minerals, probiotics, all this stuff. It's helped with his digestive system. It's done all these amazing things. And you just sprinkle it on the dog's food, and it's incredible. But I've noticed, especially over the last 6-7 months, his coat is so much better. VitaSmart is amazing. Get your Canine VitaSmart from Rough Greens right now. Put it to the test. They're willing to ship you a bag for free. All you do is pay for. Are you ready for this? You pay for the shipping. You're going to get a free bag. Try it. Put it to the test. Go to roughgreens.com/Chad. ruffgreens.com/Chad. roughgreens.com/Chad. Or call 833-MyDog77. 833-MyDog77. Free bag of Rough Greens. Put it to the test. You pay for shipping. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. Chad Benson Show.
If you like talk radio like Chad Benson likes his meals, you've come to the perfect place for takeout.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Joe Exotic, and this is Sarge.
He was like a mythical character living out in the middle of Oklahoma, who owned 1,200 tigers and lions and bears and
It's hard to believe that over a year ago, the world was introduced to the likes of Joe Exotic, Carole Baskin, and all of their big cats on the Netflix series Tiger King, Murder, Mayhem, and Madness. Well, now a limited series will tell the story of the relationship between Exotic and his archenemy Baskin.
If he ever had an enemy in his life, it was Carole Baskin.
They're all crazy.
Yeah, and apparently she is offered to help him, and still surprised he didn't get a pardon, right? Still surprised, because I thought Trump would have pardoned him. You know what? You gave America 6 or 8 weeks, something to talk about, and some people's worst times of their lives. Hey, it's a free get out of jail card. So they're going to do a limited series. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing is going to do. It's going to be like a scripted kind of thing. I'll probably watch it. I'm not going to lie to you. It's one of those things where, yeah, I'd probably watch a little bit of that because it makes me laugh. It's got animals in it because we know my love of, critters. And I want to see how they play this thing off. I do. And they've talked about it. Was it Nicolas Cage was going to play him in a movie? I love Nicolas Cage. He's just the best, greatest actor of all time. He is. If you can't appreciate Nicolas Cage for all of his things that he has done, then you just don't get it. And I always remind everybody, he won an Academy Award. The highest honor that you could have in the industry is the Academy Award. He won one. Speaking of nature and bears and lions and such, I don't know if you ever heard of this, Producer Phil. It's called Pizzlies. Pizzly bears.
Not even
hybrids between polar bears and grizzlies. Because apparently they're looking for love. Yeah, and they're heading south. The Pizzly bears are being made. As grizzly bears are hanging out, next thing you know, look up, check out that bear. It's a bear over there. Look, it's an interesting bear. Hey, that's one of those famous bears that drinks Diet Coke. I like you. You're cool. And yes, they're breeding. Now, there's been hybrids before, usually inside of Goler bears or Growler bears, as some of them call them. This is amazing. And if you've not seen them, it is a trip. But just what you want. So wait a minute. You're going to get the two of the most ferocious land-dwelling creatures in the world. But they're coming down because of the melting ice caps and all this stuff. And they're looking for love. And they're reproducing. What kind of bear was it? It was a Pizzly bear. What did it look like? Well, it was whitish. And some brown. It was very angry is what it was. It ate my friend. How'd you get away? I was faster. That's how I got away. Because I hit him in the knee. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
To celebrate our independence from this virus on July 4th with family and friends in small groups, we still have more to do in the months of May and June. We all need to mask up until the number of cases goes down, until everyone has a chance to get their shot. To Americans 16 years and older, it's your turn now. Now. So go get your vaccine before the end of May.
Yeah, go do that. Go get your vaccine. If you want to. If you want to. Go get your vaccine. But remember it was going to be like, hey, we're going to celebrate. I've always said July 4th. That should be the day when it's go time. Whether or not this person, that person, or this group of people get a vaccine, it's go time. You choosing to not get a vaccine is your choice. Right? I think that's a you thing. You've chosen, hey, I don't want a vaccine for whatever reason. Maybe I'm like, I'm the fittest person in the world. I run ultra marathons and nothing will ever happen to me. Fine. Maybe you think, hey, it's a joke. I think it's a bunch of BS. You have it for a week or two. You get over it. Your body fights it back. If you ever get anything at all, as far as really sick, fine. Whatever reason. Some people out there, through no fault of their own, can't get it. Can't get the vaccine. Reaction, the doctors are saying, look, you know, you've gotten the flu vaccine. It's made you really sick. You had horrific reactions to this or that. So those things are totally different. But the people are choosing, I don't want it. You know what? Nobody should have to live based on that. You have to wear a mask for X, Y, and Z. No, I'm sorry. It's time for us to move on. Dr. John Brownstein.
We have work to do in the vaccine process to get more people vaccinated, to get that herd immunity. We're going to have those kids starting to get vaccinated in the summer. So the outlook looks incredible. And I know, we're aiming for that normal summer, and I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen, too, because I think states are going to do their own thing. But Biden should send a signal, not just to states. The red states are kind of doing their own thing, but send a signal to everybody. It's time for us to start living again.
I think it's time to start changing our perspective around outdoor masking. I mean, we know that 96% of cases happen inside. So there's just not a lot of strong evidence for masking outside, especially when cases are coming down. Yes, of course, if we're in a surge, masking outside makes sense. Or if you're in a mass gathering, like a concert where you can't really maintain social distancing.
No. Masking outdoors is the dumbest thing. I just hey, I'm going out. Like, okay, maybe you're in places around the globe, Beijing, New Delhi, places that have had horrific smog, and people, they wear certain masks. Okay, maybe the outside thing. Maybe you're going to be in a crowd of 5,000. Okay, fine. But we're not talking about that. The average person, like California, my on-air partner for my other show, his wife, her and I golf together. She's down in Oceanside right now. And she was like, Chad wasn't kidding. If you're walking your dog, they want you to wear a mask. It's like, that's why. Because it's that placebo effect that they think is going to help somebody when data and facts point to something completely different. Completely different. Again, if you're in a large group, fine. But if I've said from the beginning, I respect this, whatever place you're going to, right? Right. So they say, hey, we asked you to wear a mask here. I respect that totally fine. Zero problems with that. You're not stealing my rights away. I'm coming into your store based on my choice. And my choice is I don't have to come into your store or your establishment to buy some food or whatever it is. I can go somewhere else. That's my choice. I'm going to come on in you've asked me to, so I will. Zero problems. But I always said, you come into my house, you come into my car, you come into I am on the course. You should wear a mask. Why? I'm the only one out here. It's 85 degrees. There's nobody around. And that's the kind of things where people sit here and go, this is where the politics gets in. People start, oh, yeah, that guy's. We've been fighting over masks for God knows how long. Now we're fighting over a vaccine. Right? You got the vaccine, and this is the way I've described it. You got the atheist, the vaccine atheist, the vatheist, and the vagnostics, where they're not anti-vaxxers. Not at all. But they want to see it work for a while. They know vaccines do work. They're not quite sure about this vaccine. Okay. Zero problem with that. But I don't think we should be allowing a group of people to essentially dictate whether or not we're going to wear masks for God knows how long. And think about this for a second. This is endemic, not pandemic, at least for the near future. We're going to be doing this next year, potentially the year after that, going back over this. And every time we're in a situation where we have to go back and get a vaccine, and I'm not talking about the second shot this time, but 6 months from now, a year from now, you watch what happens. It's slowly but surely going to start to go down. You'd be like, oh, yeah, probably will. Because convenience, kids. I'm assuming one of these pharmaceutical companies is going to come in get into a point where they're going to have a, end-all to be-all shot that will last you 5 years. But don't know when or if that's going to happen anytime soon. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. All that being said, jobs.
For a second straight week, the number of first-time jobless claims declined to a new pandemic low of 547,000. That's still historically high, as is the number of people receiving some form of unemployment benefit, more than 17 million. Layoffs appear to be subsiding, though, and economists have hope April will be a strong month of job growth as a reopening economy unleashes pent-up demand.
Economy's reopening up. California has the lowest right now infection rate. And part of that is because they believe places like L.A. County, they believe that more than half the people, and we're talking from adults to children, but more than half the people have had this. That's insane. But it's also why you get to that herd immunity faster. The one thing about the vaccine is the vaccine became political. When something becomes political, what ends up happening? Emotions get involved. Data, facts, and stuff go out the window. We've always known to get to herd immunity, there's going to have to be a certain amount of infection rate to get to true herd immunity. Because there was always going to be a group of people that were never going to get this thing. And if we're going to start opening up the way we should be, we're going to have to be honest that some people are going to catch it. Some people who've gotten both vaccines are going to catch it. Some people may get sick and die from it. But we also realize we have to start working. We have to start living. It's not just about work. It's about living. It's about kids going back to school. Kids are graduating. Kids are having prom. There's a prom here where this is great. Outdoors, no dancing, no tables, no chairs. And you have to wear a mask. That's not a prom. That's a punishment. Hey, do you want to be uncomfortable in a really frilly dress and you wear a tuxedo that 28 other people have worn in the last month and a half and go someplace and feel completely uncomfortable outside in the heat with music potentially playing, no dancing, and separation? Come to the prom. That's a punishment. Well, see, what happens is if there's dancing, have you seen The Quiet Place? Yeah, I've seen it. Well, what happens is the coronavirus has little tiny ears, and the ears are great at hearing things. And when the dancing and the beat starts going, all right, tell me more, Dr. Fauci, it livens it up, and then you're more susceptible to getting it. That is insane. Who are you protecting? Just curious. What are you protecting at that point? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Hey, do you want to go to prom? Sure. Hey, would you like to go stand somewhere with me for $350? It's the dumbest thing. I'm like, I hope they're not charging anybody for this. That could, Oh, yeah. So only one of us gets a picture, and then they Photoshop the other one into it. So stupid. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Love hearing from all of you. Your love, your hate. Happy Earth Day. Home. Title. Lock. So you know what ransomware is, right? You guys know what ransomware is. It's really become popular over the last several years where essentially they install something through somebody clicking on one thing on your computer, and then they go in and they hold everything hostage. And they either say, we're going to delete all your information if you don't give us X, Y, and Z. You know, that's growing fast. Identity theft we've known about for years. Home title theft is growing faster than those. And the reason's simple. Because with ransomware, it's instantaneous. People get to make a snap decision. Am I going to do this, that, and the other? When it comes to stealing somebody's identity, you got to steal so many of them, and it's a crapshoot kind of thing. But when it comes to stealing somebody's home title, it's easy. And by the time people find out what's going on, it's too late. They go in because all your information when it comes to your title and your home, it's all public record. They just go down to county recorder's office. They can do everything online. Forge signature, quick claim it to themselves, start taking out loans against your house and your equity and your future. Home Title Lock will alert you to anything that's going on with your title, good or bad. Right now, you go to HometitleLock.com, use code radio, register to see if you've been a victim and get 30 days free protection. HometitleLock.com, HometitleLock.com. Code Radio, Chad Benson Show.
You stink like fear and white male privilege to me.
I do often out myself verbally as a gender. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm proud to be a gender.
Are you stupid? What? Are you kidding me?
Not a great way to use your white privilege.
Some people get it, some people don't.
You're listening to The Chad Benson Show.
You all come to us young people for hope.
Nope.
How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. And yet, I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
It's a horrible fairy tale, by the way. What's your fairy tale about? Economic growth. That's weird. It's a silly fairy tale. Is there a wizard? Nope. Is there a magic potion involved? Nope. Mythical creatures? Nope. Just a stolid economy with good growth year in and year out. The kids aren't going to watch that. They won't. Just letting you guys know. They wouldn't watch that. That would bore them. What are you talking about? Greta Thunberg. I like when she says, you came to us kids. No, we didn't. I don't think any of us did. But what people did do was use you kids. I think one day she's going to be like 28 or 30. And I still think she'll be an activist. I think she's going to go, how dare they use me and this younger generation for their way of doing things for themselves, for their plots and ploys to continue to grab power. I think she will. I think a lot of people are going to wake up and go, what? It's like, because I look at her and I think, man, she's great. I've never had a problem with her. I know there's a lot of people out there that do. I've always had a problem with the way that, first of all, you didn't need to scold us. That probably wasn't very good. But secondly, the media uses it. It's great. Oh, it's great. Put a kid up there. People aren't going to criticize a kid, right? She's going to go up there and she's, because she wants better for us. Never had a problem with her. The way the media used her, and the way, both sides, by the way, some to attack her and attack the media for using her. I think she has a genuine belief that she feels all these things have been taken away from her and that she wants to do all of this stuff. And you know what? Big thinkers, big ideas. Doesn't mean any of this stuff is going to get done. And she is just a small cog in the wheel that's being used. And at some point in time, probably like a child actor or actress, you're no longer going to be the cute little thing and you're going to get pushed to the side because you're not selling the puppy dogs and rainbows that they want and the way that they want. And along will come somebody else. There'll be a new flavor of the month. And they'll just move you aside. And that's when I think, people wake up and go, because I think she came at it for the right reasons, and I still think she is. But I think so much of it, though, became bigger, and she became the focal point of agendas rather than the solutions, which neither side really wants. Because solutions are stupid. I'm telling you, government could not operate in the real world. If government was truly a business and had to operate in the real world, it would be bankrupt in hours. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
On one hand, people are saying, finally, yes, something's happening. And on the other hand, this not feeling like justice. It's not justice. And I'll explain to you why it's not just. Because justice is George Floyd going home tonight to be with his family.
What? I don't mean to laugh, but wait, what? That's justice? Justice is him going home to be with, but he sacrificed. Nancy Pelosi told me, thank you, George Floyd, for sacrificing. Even the left-leaning media is like, all right, you're so beyond tone deaf on that one, Nancy. Thank you for sacrificing. Justice is him going home. Well, it's one or the other. Because if he sacrificed himself, then the arrest, the protest, the calls for police change, the change in some areas, all that's because if that didn't happen, then we wouldn't have. And then, AOC.
Justice is Adam Toledo getting tucked in by his mom tonight.
So he could get up at 2:30 in the morning, go out with a known gang member as he was trying to be recruited into the gang and trying to get into the gang and fire guns off in a city. Where was mom at 2:30? Just curious. Don't ask questions like Chad. Check, you're such a jerk.
Justice is when you're pulled over, there not being a gun. That's part of that interaction because you have a headlight out. Justice is a municipality and a government that does not value military and armaments more than it values health care and education and housing.
Military is important. We like being safe. I think everybody knows that. We should do a lot more with health care. I agree 110%. Housing, we could have some serious questions about housing. Why should the government have to pay for a lot of different things? Why should the government make things uber affordable? Isn't that supposed to be your job, working hard? It's one thing if you need help. It's another thing if that help becomes a way of life. And as far as schools go, who runs essentially the school entire platform when it comes to schools across the nation? What side of the aisle has that? Curious. How about school choice? How about giving kids in the inner city the opportunity to go, and yes, can I say it, to better schools? How about that? Choosing a school to get out of situations where they're surrounded by poverty and crime, or schools that perform poorly. Why don't you give them choice if you care so much about justice?
So no, this verdict is not justice. Frankly, I don't even think we call it full accountability because there are multiple officers that were there. It wasn't just Derek Chauvin. And I also don't want this moment to be framed as this system working, because it's not working. That's not justice.
Always something wrong. It's not justice. It's not just. No, it's not justice. It's not. No, it's not justice. The system worked. And by the way, the other three, they're going to stand trial together, and they are charged essentially with second-degree murder and aiding and abetting. And with him being convicted of second-degree murder, it'll be aiding and abetting of second-degree murder, and they face 40 years in prison. Their trial hasn't happened yet. It's going to. It's a lot to roll out there. It's a lot. But we should have conversations about policing. Let's do it. We need to update policing. We need to modernize policing. We need to get the police the help they need. We need to send officers back to school if we're going to have them do things like drug interventions and counseling, because that's the first thing they do. I don't think marriage counseling is something they should probably go back to school for. But send them back to school, some of them, so they can better understand some of these things. Homeless problems, and we'll send them back to school, figure out how they can build homes. There's a lot of things they deal with. They didn't sign up for that. It's part of the job, but now it's not just part of the job. It seems to be the job. Let's modernize policing. No problems with that. On the flip side, let's talk about, we're always asking the police to change. Maybe we should ask some people in society, do we need a change? Why is there so much policing in the inner city? I don't know. Is there a crime there? I think it's a fair question. Why is it always young African-American men? 2% of the population, just under. Like 16 or 18 to 34. Almost 40% of the homicides. Young Adam Toledo, 13. He was killed by a police officer. Did the police officer wake up in the middle of the day and said, I'm going hunting, as so many people think, right? Because that's it. I'm doing this, right? Like that. No. It was called because there was a shooting. People hear gunfire at 2:30 in the morning. The police officer doesn't know how old the kid is. None of those things. Shows up, sees somebody with a gun, takes off. In a split second of freeze frame, he's dropping the gun. It's too late. It's a horrible situation. Why are you out at 2:30 in the morning? Don't ask that question. Where's mom and dad? Where's dad's? All questions that should be asked, but can't be.
We've got to get more confrontational. We've got to make sure that they know that we mean business.
I'm listening to the Congresswoman, and I'm thinking, no disrespect, but how does anyone get to be her age and believe that drivel? No fair-minded person believes that cops, many of whom are racial minorities, get up every day and go to work hoping for the opportunity to be able to hurt someone, including but not limited to people of color. That's nonsense.
It's always fun when we can have our good buddy on, John Kennedy. He's not done. Continue, John.
But the wokeristas, like the Congresswoman, they really do want to defund the police, which will result in a fantastic impression of hell. The wokeristas really do believe that when a cop shoots a criminal, it is always, every single time, the cop's fault. But when a criminal shoots a cop, it is always, every single time, the gun's fault.
Oh, stop it with that. Chad, go back to that statistics again. 2%, less than 2% of the population? Yeah. We never say to ourselves, you know who's the victim here? People who are in situations where they're living in communities that are crime-ridden. They're living in communities where they feel like they're held hostage by what's going on outside. They live in communities where, you could go outside and a cop could shoot you at any moment. Yet the reality is there's a better chance that you're going to get killed by a drive-by or just caught up in a mess that you have nothing to do with. Sitting in your house, for God's sakes. There was a birthday party last weekend. 9 people were shot. Not on the news. Not on the news. Why? Well, because it didn't fit a narrative. And if it doesn't fit a narrative, we don't get to hear about it. Right? If it doesn't fit a narrative, we hear nothing about it. Oh, what was it? 9 juveniles injured in a gunfight that broke out at a 12-year-old's birthday party in Louisiana. Guess how many people have testified or given statements? 0. Well, it doesn't fit a narrative, so we're going to move on. We need to be honest and have serious conversations, but you can't do it if we're not going to have the entire opportunity to talk about all of these things that are broken. I've said, yeah, we need to reform policing. You're going to get 0 argument out of me. I think it'll be better for the police. I think it'll be better for everybody. But it can't just be one side. It's always just, you got to fix you. Doesn't work that way. And the media plays a part in all of this, and it's becoming more and more evident how much of a part they're playing with the way that they act and the things that they say and do, meaning here's some things we will talk about. And if the narrative goes against it, we'll just not run it. Case in point, Bernie Goldberg, great journalist, was on HBO Real Sports for a long time.
Bernie Goldberg worked for HBO for 22 years. He did a program called Real Sports.
They range from liberal to far left. There have been occasions when I suggested stories, they wouldn't do it. That transgender story was an example of down the middle, both sides of the story, nuanced, fair play journalism. Cowardice led the people who run the show to say, we don't want to run this because this might cause us trouble. One person said, we may have a hashtag campaign against us.
So that's the way you're going to go. You're worried about running something that would be journalistic. And you're worried about a hashtag campaign.
If I have to watch every word I say, because if I say the wrong word, I might get canceled, that's a very bad thing for America. It certainly would be a bad thing for me. And we all in the news business ought to be very, very concerned about the cancel culture in the world of sports and outside the world of sports.
I don't disagree with you. I think we're all concerned about it. We all feel like we're doing a high wire act every time we say something that's going to go out on the airwaves. It is what it is.
It is what it is. It shouldn't be that way. If you've done research and data and you're not coming from a place of disliking something, but here's just the data and research we found, and you can't present it because somebody's going to feel that you're offending somebody or a particular group, and so for that you'll poo-poo it. That is insane. But even him talking about why he left, here's how one headline: how Bernie Goldberg's conservative politics led him to exit from Real Sports. Trust me, there's a lot of liberals out there. And I'm not talking about progressives and the wokeristas, as John Kennedy calls them, but liberal journalists who look at and say, I agree 110%. You can't even have a conversation about some stuff, even if, hey, this is a great story. This is the right thing. And if you do that story, it better come in a different way that affirms because of the fear. Sports is suffering big time because it's no longer sports for a lot of people. It's It's let me show you what we're angry about today, and we're going to make the platform and more important than the actual game.
The ideology of HBO, even before AT&T took over, was left wing. No question about it. As a matter of fact, on Real Sports, the way this whole thing got blown up is I said sports used to be the place where most Americans went to get away from the daily barrage of partisan politics. That statement was deemed controversial by my colleagues on the show. They said those days are over with. I said, that's fine. And you know what? You're going to pay a price in ratings.
And they are. They're paying a huge price in ratings, a massive price in ratings. And it's going to get worse.
Even the world of sports and sports journalism at HBO, at ESPN, at almost every place, even the world of sports journalism is infected with a left of center perspective and bias.
It shouldn't be. It's just about sports. And yeah, there are tough issues out there. From race to trans to choice to guns. We should be able to talk about them with real data, real facts, talk about all of these things in a way where it's presented to us and we can have conversations and we can even go in depth for like this. And it's not about whether you're anti something or pro something. It's like, here's this. And you may not like all of that and facts, but that's what it is. Not anymore. Now you keep your mouth shut. Now, better watch out. Better not shout. Could get in serious trouble. You wouldn't want that. Don't make a joke. And by the way, if you tweeted something 8 years ago, somebody's hiding it somewhere. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Are you going to be wearing these this summer, fellas? We'll talk about it. Chad Benson Show.
I usually don't get into politics. As an ordinary suburban housewife, I feel a little disrespected. I teach my children not to name call.
You are a blabbermouth!
Come on, man. Guys, can we please keep the chatter to a minimum?
Chad Benson.
Joining the likes of Michael B. Jordan, Zac Efron, and the more than 28 million TikTok views who are embracing the hashtag 5-inch seam.
Oh my God, my fit is fantastic.
What about the rest of us?
Are short shorts for everybody? 5 inch is now the new daring level.
So as the weather gets warmer, skies out, thighs out, baby. At least according to the internet. All men should wear short shorts. I will die on this hill. In fact, Men's Health saying the summer of 2021 will be all about guys showing some leg.
I got great legs. Not gonna lie to you. That's one thing soccer has given me. The years of sports, in particular soccer, has given me pretty nice legs. I will not be wearing short shorts. It's gonna give a hard pass on that. I don't wear super long shorts. As a kid, I wore board shorts. Because why? Because I was going to the ocean to surf. But no, I'm just gonna wear regular shorts. And no, I'm not wearing John Stockton grape smugglers, if you will. Right, just not going to happen. But that's the new thing. So the sky's out, the thigh's out. So I was on Amazon the other day. I was getting some golf shorts, actually. And I'm on there. And, they're showing, all these shorts. And, some of them, I'm like, who's that for? Is this children's section? No. I think they were dolphin shorts. Is that what they were called, producer Phil? Was it dolphin shorts? Do you remember those?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
They were like running shorts the kids used to wear in the 80s. They were just so. You look at them now, back then, you're like, but they are, no. We're gonna have a hard pass on this. But if you want to, and you got good legs, it's a 5-inch seam if you're really daring, 7-inch seam if you're just I'm kind of daring. That's like showing ankle now. They're in a certain way. For me, regular size shorts. That's what we're doing here, kids. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Have a great day. Be safe. Be kind. Laugh a lot more. Because we need it, kids. I tell you what, we need it. The world is a beautiful place, and so we should get more laughter, have more smiles. We'll do it again tomorrow. Oh, look over there. I see Friday. Night, Jack.
This is the Chad Benson Show.